we have a session today that's going to be focusing on posture for the first part, and then a little bit of a variety after that. But certainly the first half is going to be really all about the back, the shoulders, getting some space through the upper body. So we're going to start simply with roll downs. So standing up nice and tall, taking a big inhale breath, checking those feet are parallel and hip width, and then let's curl down. Let's take the chin to the chest and roll down, taking your hands to a comfortable shape position on the floor here. Take a big inhale and exhale to curl back up. At the top here, we're going to lift the ribs, lift the arms, circle around, and take a big breath. When you're ready, we're going again, parallel feet, taking chin to chest, curling down, keeping that tummy pulling up into the spine. Inhale at your end range and exhale, build it back up again. Let's get that lift through the spine, the circling of the arms, opening through that chest, tuck everything back in again, ready to go again, curling down. Now let the head go heavy, the arms go heavy. Check you're not holding tension in the neck. Try and go a little bit lower each time. We're building up again here, lifting those arms, circling, finding space across the chest, and we're going to take this one more time. Chin to chest, let those shoulders roll forwards. Find the flex. Now hold this one. Find your end range. Doesn't matter where that is, but get those knees nice and straight if you can. Could you lift your tummy up to your spine? And could you think now about just lifting your tail, like you're trying to tip your pelvis? So your tail and your sit bones lift up to the ceiling. It's going to feel harder on the backs of the legs because that's where your hamstrings insert. So it's going to feel tight, but hold for a moment and take some breaths. Hold the position. Let the head go heavy. When you're ready, next exhale, we'll build it back up. Press the feet into the floor. Lift yourself up to standing and take that big circle, opening those arms. Now, when you're ready, standing nice and tall, we're going to get some softness in the knees. So quite relaxed, little bounce through the knees. We're going to take the arms forwards, little bend of the knees first, and then you're going to rotate to the side of the room, keeping those fingers together. You're going to keep those knees soft and you're going to bend the body so that the hands come to the outside edge of the thighs. Now, once you're here, extend that spine, stick the bottom out. So you've got open chest, tummy on, but you're reaching to that side of the leg, outer edge. When you're ready, we open. Lengthen and find space, rotate, reach up, and then close again. Keep that spine nice and long and still. Let's go again 2 more times. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. And one more time. Inhale, open, opening out, finding space across the chest, but also rotation through the spine. And then bring yourself up. Standing tall. Soft knees. Let's rotate to the other side. Let's hinge at the hips. Take the hands to the outside edge of the other knee. Now, if you can, just check that your legs are still both bent and you haven't got one that's straightened, because that implies your pelvis is shifted. Get the spine long and we inhale, open up to the ceiling, and exhale, close. Keep those knees still. Again, inhale, open, tummy on. Exhale, close. One more time. Inhale, open. Nice long spine. Stick the bottom out. Lift that tummy. And then take it all the way back up. Standing tall here. Take your hands to your temples. Keep your feet where they are. Just double check they're still parallel. And we're taking that inhale, side bend. Exhale up. And again, other way. Inhale over. And exhale, grow. Keep going. Keep those shoulders down. Keep the chest forwards and open. Keep your feet pressing the floor away. Inhale and exhale. One more each way. Can you keep that pressure down into the ground like you've got a 50-pound note under both feet? And last one, pressure into the floor. Exhale, grow and relax there. Let the arms come down. Keep your pelvis pretty still if you can and just take a little swing. So we're just swinging and swaying those arms side to side, taking some movement through the spine, but working into the abdominals, into your stabilizers to keep that pelvis a little bit still if you can. Try not to let this become a leg movement where your pelvis goes too. Keep that still. And we just swing gently and try and find some freedom through that back. Through the arms, through the shoulders, let the eye line go too. Let's do a couple more in each direction. Last one. Center and relax there. Okay, coming down, hands and knees to start here today. So let me shuffle my mat forward so I've got a bit more space. Coming down, 4-point to begin with, and we're just starting with cat, but we're going to build in our breath cycle. So shoulders pull back, our spines along. Let's just double check. You might want your hands a little bit wider, maybe. They don't need to be directly under your shoulders. They can be a tiny bit wider, might give you a bit more space. Just play with that position. And when you're ready, exhaling to round the spine and inhaling to lengthen. And we're going all the way forwards. Open that chest. And again, exhale to round. And inhale to lengthen. Open the chest. Exhale, round. Now, can we lift from the tummy on the rounding? And then can we hold the tummy on the lengthening? Can you draw those shoulders back? And we go again. Exhale to round. And inhale to lengthen. Let's just do one more here. Last time, we round in your own time. It's important that you follow your breath and what feels right for you. And lengthening away, tummy on, shoulders back. Find your way to neutral. You're going to stabilize here. Shoulders pull back. Take one leg and slide it back. Now just check. You're on your paddleboard. You don't want to lean over onto that supporting leg because you'll tip off. So make sure you're even in your weight distribution. Tummy on. Opposite arm slides forwards. Hold. Now we lift and lower. We're going up and down. Now the thing here you want to think about is that those arm and legs are distractions that we're not going to be distracted by. We're going to float them up and down, but we're going to make sure that every lift builds in an exhale and a tightening of the belt. So lift the belly, 2. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and bring it back in. Other side, we take the other leg back, right leg back, left arm forward. Same thing, floaty arms. Let's go 8. We're lifting that tummy. And remember, we're on that paddleboard, that surfboard, that lilo. We can't wriggle too much. We've got to stay really centered. And if you're wobbly, you need less arm and leg support, more belly support. Let's go 3 and 2 and 1. Draw it in. Relax there. Let's come down onto your tummies and give those shoulders a little break. So pausing here, let's take the forehead to the ground and the arms to a W shape. Now, just give the shoulders a little wriggle, just to roll them back a few times, just to find some space there. Elbows come to the ground, legs are parallel, tummy on. Let's roll the nose forwards. So keeping the collarbones nice and broad. Remember, you've got that metal plate that stops them falling forwards. Inhale, lift the chest up. Breathe your way to open and exhale back down. Now, I want to play with this today. You're going to take your nose to the floor and hold just the tip of your nose on the ground. Check in with those shoulders. Now, can you slide your shoulder blades down towards your back pockets? And can you think of feeling those lowest ribs in the ground? Okay, as you start to lift up, can you imagine that those lowest ribs are sliding forwards as the shoulder blades pull back? Can you keep going and keep going and keep going? Just thinking of shoulder blades and ribs, and then release back down. And my hope is, come back to your nose, tip of your nose, that you go a little bit further. When you're ready, we're inhaling. Think of those shoulder blades pulling back and the ribs sliding forwards. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and lengthen back down. Let's go one more time. Shoulder blades back, collarbones broad. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now pause. Take your forehead to the ground and bring your hands so they're flat by the sides of your ribs, and your elbows will be lifted up behind you. This is like a grasshopper. That's the kind of image you want in your head. We're going to do the same thing here. Get those elbows back and close to your ribs. Don't have them way out to the sides. Get them narrow. So you're between 2 panes of glass, narrow glass. Roll your nose forwards. Keep the hands where they are. Inhale, lift. Same thing. Shoulder blades back, elbows back, ribs forwards, and exhale down. Collarbones are broad. Just to the tip of your nose. We're going to go a little bit quicker here now. So up and down when you're ready. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Keep the lowest ribs on the floor. but allow them to slide. And down. Collarbones open, elbows tucked. 3, and down, tummy on. 2, and down, and 1 more. And down, and resting there. When you're ready, you're going to press those hands into the floor and push yourself up to 4-point position. Shuffle those knees in. Now, we're going to stay in 4-point here to start with. Shoulders are pulling back, neck is long, and we're going to tail wag. So keeping your upper body totally still, just take your tail and wag it to the side, and then take your tail and wag it to the other side. So you're flexing and extending, so shortening and lengthening the waist. One side will shorten while the other side lengthens. The other side shortens whilst the other side lengthens. So we're going side to side. Now this isn't a swing or a sway of the body, it's a flex. So although we're getting space, we're also switching on those obliques and we're using them to shorten the waist. Let's go 2 more times, 1 more in each direction, and pausing back at center. Now, if you found the first set of Superman that we did wobbly, stick with that version. If you're happy to continue and move on to the next version, then follow me. So we're going to take the left leg back and the right arm forwards. Now hold here. Can you float them up so they're just hovering about halfway and you're just comfortable here? So tummy's on, you're holding this position. When you're ready, we're going to round the body into cat. The arm and the leg follow, they don't bend. We round and they tap to the floor. And then as we extend, we reach that chest forward and the arm and the leg will lift up. And then as we round, the arm and the leg come to the floor. And as we extend, the arm and the leg lift. Now you've got to be thinking about what's happening in your spine and your belly, not what's happening in the arm and the leg. Last extension on this side, otherwise you'll get wobbly. Let's come back to neutral and take that down. Swap sides. Right leg goes back, left arm goes forwards. We're hovering. Remember, don't think about the arm and the leg. Let's find cat. Scoop and tuck that tail, just like you would for cat. Draw the tail under. And then find your extension, just like you did a moment ago. Reach the chest through, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Relax those toes. Exhale, round. Shoulders on both sides, pull back. Check that pelvis is evenly spaced towards the floor. You're not lifting up on one side. Find neutral and bring it back in. Relax there and take yourself slowly, slowly down to the mat. Okay, so we're going to go back to that W shape. We're going to bring the forehead to the floor. Shoulder blades nice and pulled back. Collarbones are broad. Now let's switch on the glutes. So let's take the legs a little bit wider than they were. Squeeze your bottom and activate your legs. So you feel like your kneecaps are slightly pulling off the ground. Roll your nose forwards, switch the tummy on and inhale, lift up. Chest comes up and then we come halfway down and we're going to hold it here. So you're looking at the floor, you're in a hover. Your glutes, your legs, your belly, they're all still working. The collarbones are still pulling back. Let's lift your left arm just an inch off the ground and reach it forwards. Pull it back and lower it down. Now don't change that collarbone shape. Other side, lift. Keep the collarbones broad as you reach. Pull it back and release down. Now if you don't listen to your collarbones, keep going side to side. If you don't keep that space, you will roll, you'll collapse it inwards. So you want to really keep that chest proud. Collarbones are made of steel and they're going to keep those shoulders back. Armpits are pulling back. Shoulder blades are pulling back. Although they're moving and adapting, they're still pulling down. Last one here. Reaching through, lowering it down and relax to the mat. Now that version can always be done with the head down if you ever fancy an alternative. It gives you less to think about, but more focus on the shoulders. Let's take head onto hands. Shoulders are pulling back. Take those legs a little bit narrower now. And we're going to use the tummy, pulling those armpits back. We're going to use the tummy to support the pelvis. So lift that belly, tuck the tail, and then when you're ready, single leg lift. We go up and down and lift and lower. Now shoulders are back, armpits are back. It's not enough just to rely on the leg here. We need the whole support structure for the trunk to keep that nice and still so that we can find space in the hip. Lift and lower and press and down. We're going to go 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it there, release that down. Can you do a double leg lift? Now, if this is too much, go back to single, up and down. Try to make sure that you don't sink into the lower back. So you've got to find space across that hip. Try and relax the feet. Don't get tension into the toes. Think of lifting with the back of the thigh, pushing it up, keeping the tension all in that tummy, all in the shoulders. Pull them back. Keep that trunk really stable for 4 and 3 and 2. On your next one, hover. You can continue with single leg lifts if you want. Otherwise, hover and take this into swimming. So you're kicking your legs, tummy on, shoulders back, neck is long. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest it back down. When you're ready, hands come under like that. What's it called? Oh my God. I can't remember what it's called. Hands come under and press up. Oh, grasshopper. Okay, pause there. Sorry about that. Can't remember my bug. When you're ready, shoulders are back. Now, we're going to take one leg back, left leg, and we're going to lift it up. Just the left leg, not the arm. Now, just check your body position. You want even weight on both hands. You want that left hip to still be facing down, not out to the side. You haven't rotated. You want to make sure that you're not dropping into that left hip and leaning out into the right hip. Keep everything square and stable. Now, when you're ready, you're going to take that leg wide. And as you do that, you're going to flex into the side of the waist like you did for your tail wag. And then you're going to take it across the body and you're going to flex into the right side of the waist. Lengthening the left. We take it wide, flexing the left, lengthening the right, and across. Now remember, it's tempting to go really far with these. Keep it as small as you need to be able to maintain the position of that pelvis. It's flexing laterally, but it shouldn't be rotating or dropping or twisting. It should be facing the floor all the time. Even weight through the arms, the hands, the shoulders, the neck. Take it to center and release it back down. Other leg, we take it up. Hold, tummy on, shoulders back, armpits down. When you're ready, we go across and wide. Doesn't matter which direction you're going. If you're doing different to me, that's fine. Keep your weight even through those hands and prioritize that as you move the leg. Prioritize making sure that that body doesn't follow. Let's go across and wide. Now tummy is pulling up. Let's do one more in each direction. Flexing laterally in both directions. Taking that leg down. When you're ready, now hold here. You're going to take your elbows and bend them so that they're traveling back to about 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. What we don't want is them really wide. So a little bit backwards. Now pause here because there's a good chance that you've ended up here. I want you to slide your forehead forwards so that your weight is over those hands. Your chin is in line with your fingertips. And then hold, lift the tummy. Shoulder blades pull back. Armpits back, little pulses for 10. Now the pulse here is in the arm, straightening and bending, not going straight, not locking, keeping a bend the whole time. But the effort is there. I see a lot of head bobbing. I see a lot of bottom moving forwards and backwards. There's all sorts of ways of cheating on this. I'm not seeing that now, but I do see it sometimes. So just be really careful. Make sure it's the arms doing the work. Small movements, only an inch. 3, 2, 1, press up and sit yourself back. All the way to your heels, reach those arms forwards. Take a big breath. When you're ready, coming up again, taking the right hand over onto the left hand and sit your bottom back again. So we're taking a little stretch across the right side. Breathing deeply into the upper back, into the side of the ribs, and then bring it back up, take it across. Other side, let's reach back. So reaching the left sit bone away from the left hand. Feel like they travel in opposite directions. Take a big breath, come all the way up, bring it back to center. We're going to do that arm pulse one more time. Shoulders back, bend into those elbows, and we're going to pulse here for 10, 9. Can you lift that tummy? 8. Can you draw your shoulders back anymore? Could you take your head forwards a little bit more? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now straighten the arms. Little bit of a tuck of the tail. Arms are tired now, so just be okay with that. They're going to be tired. Little tuck of the tail. Let's take a leg back. Now maintain your belly connection. Shoulders pull back. Other leg. We hold here for 5. Front support. 4. Press the ground away. Make sure those elbows are nice and soft, not locked out. 3. Armpits back. 2. Tuck the tail more. Don't hang the head. 1. Take a knee down, join it with the other knee. Now take the knees nice and wide and sit yourself all the way back. Child's pose, bringing your chest down and reaching your arms forwards. Taking a moment here, just have a little wriggle through those shoulders, through that upper back. We're going to finish off our postural section by bringing ourselves down to the mat, so you're lying on your front. You're going to take your legs really wide, so as wide as the mat at least. Arms nice and wide too, so again, wider than the mat. Relax your forehead to the ground, tuck your tummy, lengthen and squeeze the glutes and the legs, roll your nose forwards. Now, broaden those collarbones. Inhale, lift up. Check the collarbones are broad as you extend up, coming up into your cobra, releasing down. If you're finding that that's too high or too intense for you, take the hands wider or higher, and it will mean a shallower lift. But you need to be careful if you've got your hands high like this, that when you get to the top here, that it doesn't roll you forwards like this. Those arms don't pull your shoulders in. You've got to remain really cognizant of everything that we know about back extension. We need to be broadening those collarbones, sliding the shoulder blades down. And you might feel like you want to get a bit higher, and that means the shoulder blades come in or collarbones come in. Don't let that happen. Keep those shoulder blades really anchored. And then if you want to go a bit higher, obviously you bring it closer. Inhaling to lift. Remembering the focus here is still back extension. Opening the chest. Broadening those collarbones. And even if you think you're doing it, do it a bit more. Always, there's always more to get out of the back. We can always find more space. We can always challenge it a little bit more. And to begin with, that's going to feel like, oh, this is the best. This is all I've got. But it's never the best. There's always more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. It's the best that you're doing today, but push yourself to be better. Push yourself to be more aware of your belly. Could you squeeze those armpits down more? Could you open the chest any more? Make sure that you're feeling safe, that your tummy's on and your glutes are engaged. Let's just take one more. And at the top of this one, wherever you are in space, just hold, shoulders down, and just turn your head one way and then over to the other way. So we're just getting a little bit of freedom through that neck. Armpits and shoulders down. Could you lift the tummy any more? Squeeze that bottom to protect your lower back. Come to center and release all the way back down. Now again, grasshopper, press the hands, lift yourself up, and this time you're coming all the way up to a high kneel. So from here, we're going to start with a good tuck of the tail. Don't let the bottom stick out. Tuck it under. Think of drawing the hips up towards the ribs. Open the chest. Stand nice and tall, or kneel nice and tall. You could be standing if you prefer for this one. Taking chin to chest. Now squeeze that bottom underneath so that you can't let the hips hinge back. And round yourself down. Curling down, taking your hands towards your thighs or to the floor, and then curling back up again. Now don't think that you have to go all the way back, all the way down to the mat. You don't. You just slide your hands down, making sure that that bottom, you're not doing this. Okay, we want to really round the spine. The glutes push through. And it's a battle because the bottom will want to travel back because it will want to counterbalance you. You'll feel very unsteady, but that's the challenge. We want to feel unsteady because we want the tummy to hold us up. And then curling all the way back up to a high kneel. Let's take one more here. Draw that tummy in, roll yourself down. Chin to chest, shoulders roll, belly pulls in, tail tucks under, slide down. Take it to as far as you feel comfy, and then scoop it back up again. Now, keeping your hands on your thighs, roll your shoulders back. Be careful that when you roll your shoulders back, you don't puff out through that chest. Get the ribs to tuck in, get the tail to tuck under, and be aware of that belly. Hands on thighs. When you're ready, we're going to inhale back. Now, we're keeping hands on thighs because we want to move like a plank. And you'll know if you're not moving like a plank because your hands will slide up and down. So reach down, shoulders down, broad, inhale back. It's a small movement. Don't expect to go far. Just a few inches. We just want to really stabilize the belly and open the front of the hip, front of the legs. So it's a small hinge. Inhale back. You might be more comfortable with your legs parallel, or sometimes it's better to have your heels together. It's entirely up to you. I prefer heels together, but that's because I know that works to my strengths. So I try and do it with parallel because that takes me into a different position that I'm not as strong in. Okay, so work with what works for you. You always want to be avoiding pain. So if something's uncomfortable or painful or twingy, stop. Let's do one more here. And all the way back up. Pause there. Now make your way to the center of your mat. We're still kneeling. You can get a cushion under your knee if you prefer. Take one leg wide. Now in this position, you're always going to feel a little bit tipped, but you're going to do your best to get that hip down. Then you're going to take your hands to your temples, and we're going to inhale away from the straight leg. Inhale over, exhale up. This is where we all get our little nail prints on the sides of the head. Those little half moons in the temples. Exhale up. Now draw those shoulders down, broaden your collarbones. Check that you're going laterally and you're not tipping or rotating. Now, there's a barrel here that you want to go up and over. So don't just collapse. Think of lifting and lengthening away from that leg. Exhale, lift. Let's do that 2 more times. Up and over, reach, 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 and lengthen up. 1 more time, up and over, reach away. Now hold this one, open the arms, take that bottom hand to the floor, and lift up that top leg. Now all we're doing here is down and up for 10 and 9. Now your hips are forwards, ribs are in, chest open. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift, bend the knee, and gently with control, bring yourself back up. Other leg, take it long. So it can be slightly bent and slightly in front of you if you prefer, if that's better for your hip and you can get more sort of length and stability through your spine. Half moons again, let's go, up and over. Inhale over, exhale up. We're really trying to reach away from that leg. So we're lengthening the body. And let's go for 3. Reach and grow tall. And 2, away. Grow tall. Last one, all the way over. Open those arms. Take that bottom hand to the floor. Hold it here. We go up and down. 10 and 9 and 8, 7, 6, 5. Hips forward, ribs in. 2, 1, lift it up, bend the knee, and bring yourself up. Little bit of control up to the top. Relax there. Sit your bottom down, so you're sitting to the side of one of your to your side. Hold on to the opposite shin and find a stretch. Reach towards that shin. Okay, so you're just not sitting on your heels. You're sitting just to the side of your heels. Staggering those legs, reaching up and over. Get more reach through that arm if you can. Try and stretch out and then bring it back down. Lift your bottom up, shuffle over to the other side, same thing. Now with these reaches, it's very sort of nice to sit in a comfortable position, but I really want you to lengthen that arm, dynamic through this top arm. Really open the side of the body. Not a move we do enough of, but there's so much to stretch down the side of the body, all those tiny little muscles, and then bring yourself back up. Relax there, come to sitting. Okay, So seated, we're going to have knees bent. Now, if you'd rather be on a chair for this, you can be, or on a cushion or a block. We're going to have knees bent. We're going to have hands behind the thighs. Now, to start with here, find those sit bones. You want to get on the bony bit of your bottom. And just check your elbows. You'll see immediately that your elbows are bent. Now, that bend in the elbow is going to stay still, okay? What I don't want is this happening, straightening and bending. We want to stay absolutely still in the elbows and the arms. Shoulders draw down. When you're ready, we're just going to round into a C shape. Nothing is going to change in that bend of the elbows. So in other words, we're not traveling backwards. We're just rounding and then lifting. And again, rounding. So shoulders are staying over hips, which is meaning there's no need for the arms to move. Lift tall. Let's go for 4. So we're just finding space in the hips, in the lower back, in the spine, rather than allowing the hip flexors to do this work for us, which they will want to. So if you're finding that you want to travel back, that is you resisting finding space in your spine. So resisting that tightness, which we want to battle against. One more here, take it back, take it down, round, now hold. Now we straighten the arms, we're holding that round back. The arms are going to straighten, that's as far as we're going to go. Hold here, let go of the hands. Your eye line will be on mid-thigh because your spine is rounded. We're going to lift those arms up for 4. Keep tucking and rounding as you lift. And 2. And keep rounding. And 1. So that when your arms come back down now, they should be easily able to take hold of the back of your thighs because you haven't moved. You're going to bend those elbows wide, round yourself forwards, and lift up nice and tall. Let's do that again. We're going to do 3 rounds and straightens first. We go round and lift. Remember, with stable elbows. And 2. Don't collapse into the chest. Still think of that rod of steel across the collarbones. Last one, and hold here. Now, hold that round back. Could you round any more? Could you tuck the tail more? Let's travel back. Straighten those arms. When you're straight, hold. We lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Remember, those arms are floaty. Don't put too much emphasis into the arms. Put that breath, that out breath, into the tail, the tuck, the scoop. 2 more times. And down, and just 1 more. And down, take your hands behind the thighs, round yourself forwards, and lift yourself nice and tall. Pausing there, nice flat back, take your hands behind you. Keep your legs where they are. Now, if you feel tight in your shoulders, then turn your fingers to face wider. If you're comfortable, then keep them facing your bottom. Tummy's on and then press up. So you've got straight arms and straight spine. And again, if you can't get straight arms and straight spine, have your hands wider or more turned out. We need to get those 2 positions correct before we start, okay? So adjust your position, reorganize if you need to get that, but we want lift through the body. When you're ready, you're going to bend your elbows, but you're not going to collapse through your spine. Inhale back and exhale, press up. So eye line will be forwards. It might even be a little bit upwards, but we're going to keep the shoulders down and the collarbones broad as we lengthen back, bending into those elbows, keeping the body weight nice and long so that we really load into those backs of the arms. So tricep work. Inhale back. Strong tummy all the way to straight arms. You've got to make sure, there aren't many exercises where I say this, but you've got to lock the elbows on this one, because if you don't activate the triceps at the end there. Inhale back. Now we're going to go a little bit quicker for our final 5. We go back, squeeze up, and 4, and 3, tummy on, and 2, last one, up, lengthen your legs, reach your arms around, and take hold of wherever you land, whether that be the feet, the ankles, the shins. Draw the tummy in. Use your arms to lengthen your spine like you're tipping your sit bones backwards and drawing the crown of your head forwards, and then lower yourself down towards your thighs. Hold here and scoop yourself up to sitting. Take your feet a little bit wider, lift the arms, lift the tummy, drop the shoulders, and let's chin to chest, curl forwards, lengthening over those legs, and inhale, hold, exhale, build it back up. At the top here, we're going to lift the ribs like we did at the start. Lift the arms, lift the ribs, and circle round. Deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, chin to chest, lengthen through. Keep pulling that tummy back like you've got a big seatbelt going across your tummy. Keep the shape, you're rounding that spine. Now we scoop, we come up, we lift the arms, lift the ribs, look up, and circle those arms around. And you circle, you tuck the ribs in, you keep hold of that tummy, and you find yourself at your lifted shape. One more time. We're taking chin to chest, rounding through, lengthening over those legs. Take a big inhale breath. Build it up. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, circle. Come up to sitting. Check you've got space behind you. Shuffle forwards a bit if you don't. Round into your C shape and curl back. Now I want you to try and slow this down as much as you need to really get that compression into the floor, bit by bit, scoop by scoop, taking your head all the way down to the ground. Bring your arms up to the ceiling, keep your legs where they are. When you're ready, bring the legs together, lift your chest, bring your arms to your sides, into your little chest lift here. Now drag your legs in so that your toes are on the floor, lift them up to tabletop and start your pulses. Exhaling for 4 or 5, inhaling for 4 or 5. 100 pulses, shoulders down, ribs to hips. Don't worry too much about neutral here. Just get that height through the chest. If you need a hand behind the head, that's absolutely fine. Just remember to swap it once or twice during the class or during this section so that you don't only use one side. Keep drawing that belly down. Every exhale, you deepen that connection. Now, if you want to, if you can, you're going to lengthen those legs. Pin them together. Feet can come to the floor if you prefer. Shoulders down, lifting the chest. 3, 2, 1, and hug it in. Take a moment there. Take your feet to the floor, slide them away, take your arms overhead, and take a little stretch here. Now, when you're ready, you're going to take your hands behind your head, interlinking your fingers. You're going to exhale and rotate that chest across to the left hip. So we're going up and over. Keep the legs on the floor and keep them together and active. So they're reaching away. We're going over to the right now. So strong legs. Just be mindful that you don't want a huge arch through your lower back. Try and be neutral if you can. Shoulders down, armpits down. Rotate across. Keep that pelvis still and keep active through the legs. Switch them on, pin them together. Reach them away. We're going to take 4 and down and 3. Now imagine that you're not just lifting up, but you're also trying to reach towards that thigh. 2, getting as much lift as you can. 1, and when you're ready, take it down. We're going to go over to that first side and then stay high. We swap for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. Active legs. 2 and 1. Center and down. Take a moment here. When you're ready, arms by your sides. Can you just draw those legs in, slide them in, place the feet flat to the floor. So tummy's on here. We're going to switch the belly on even more deeply, finding that neutral. Take a few big breaths to connect into the center. Let's take a leg one at a time to tabletop, joining it with the other leg. Now, can you take your arms either open to a T or, I prefer, but you may not, goalposts. It's entirely up to you. Just check, if particularly goalposts, might see what has happened to my ribs. They pop out because I'm reaching and opening through the shoulder, and that restriction is making my ribs pop. So I need to really plant them back, make sure I've got control from my tummy. When you're ready, we inhale to one side. Exhale, center. Now you can definitely do this with the feet on the floor if you prefer. Inhale over and exhale center. Keep going, one more in each direction. Keep those shoulders down, elbows wide. And last one. Now go over to the first side, pause there, extend the legs. They don't have to go straight, but they do have to lengthen. And then we draw them back to center and bend them at the top there. Now you can do both legs, or if it's preferable to you, just do the top leg. Both or top. Exhale, pull back. Get that tension out of the arms and shoulders. Take the tension into the belly. To the side, extend. Use the tummy to bring them back. Bend at the top. One more. Inhale over. Extend. Exhale, pull back. And just hold here. Keep those legs lengthening. We're going to turn out so the heels together, toes apart. If the legs aren't straight, it doesn't matter. Little bend at the knee is fine. But get them nice and high. Flex those feet. And we're going to open the legs to a V. And exhale. Use the belly. Draw them back. We've got 4 more. Open. Use the tummy. 3. Use that out breath. Connect your core. Lift your pelvic floor. And 2. And last one. And hug those knees into your chest. Take a little breather here. You're going to reach with your left leg along the mat. Hold your right leg and squeeze it in. Take your right arm to a T and rotate that leg to your left. Get the leg, the foot, the knee, everything to go nice and heavy. You can turn and look to your right arm. Make sure that shoulder's down. And then just rotate that spine. Allow it to go. Allow the head leg to go heavy. And then when you're ready, draw it back. Let's take the other leg flat to the floor. Hug it in. Hug in the left leg this time. Take a big breath, and when you're ready, opening that left arm to the side, shoulder is planted. So the entire back of my body is on the floor. The back of my shoulder blade, the back of my armpit, the top of my arm, it's all touching the floor, and yours should be too. Turn to face the left. Let that leg go really heavy. Breathe here. When you're ready, draw that leg back to center. Hug both of your knees into your tummy. Take hold of the back of the thighs and give yourself a little roll up to sitting. And you are all done. I'm just going to go through very, very quickly a quick shoulder release with you whilst we're sitting. So on a chair if you prefer. We're going to start by just closing your eyes. This is a good little wind down. We've got 2 minutes and we're just going to run through this. Close your eyes and just roll your shoulders back one at a time. So they're going in both in the same direction but at different positions. Shut your eyes, lengthen your spine and just move those shoulders. Pause at center. Now your right shoulder, you can imagine there's a sponge sitting on top of that shoulder. You're going to lift it up towards your ear, squeeze that sponge and then release the shoulder back down again. I like to have my hands facing upwards for this so I don't grip. Lift that right shoulder again, squeeze it up into that sponge and then release it down. As you release it down, imagine that trickle of water going down your shoulder. One more time, allow it to lift, squeeze it up and let it drop. One more time, squeeze and allow it to drop. Let it just hang there. Let it drop and go heavy. Can you feel the difference between that side and your other side? That side should feel lower, the side you just worked. So we'll go over to the other side. Let's go left shoulder up and let it go. Allow that water to trickle down. Squeeze it up into that sponge and allow it just to trickle down. Imagine that shoulder blade, that trap, the back of the neck is all squeezing up and releasing down. One more time. Squeeze it and release it. Now pause here, let both shoulders drop. Think of that trickle of water going down both shoulders. Pause here, turn your palms to face down and just roll those shoulders again like we did at the beginning. and you should find it feels a little bit easier, a little bit freer, a little bit more mobile, a little bit more aware, a bit more cognizant, and just maybe a little better. Pause there, relax there, and you are actually now all done. Well done, guys. Thank you for joining. I will see you next time.
Thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you loved this video. Be sure to subscribe and share this with another person in your life who you know would love it too. And if you'd like to know more about Mind Body Meno and how we can support you through menopause with tailored movement, expert advice and a community of women just like you, then click the link below in the comments. But for now, if you're ready to just enjoy another session with me, then just click here.